different things I've self-learned myself. And that's the whole difference, I guess, is that I don't need the books or the schooling type things. I just get everything on my own, and because of that, I'm alive right now.
Taught me recently is that one man's garbage, another person's good on garbage, and I'm gonna roll with that.
All right, so I'm gonna show y'all how I pay for my race car. Some people wonder, how people afford things. I'm gonna show you how I afford mine, because mine's pretty easy and it's pretty black and white. Scrap. Selling stuff, selling odds and ends. You'll be amazed at how much money I make per year off of side hustle. So I don't take a dollar from my business for the race car. So the race car is 100% built off of cash flow, off of things that my employees don't produce, basically. So any paint jobs or anything like that is done by employees. That's business money. Painting Randy's car was a personal thing, since I did a lot of it after hours and I've done 100% of it on my own. So that's not business money, that's my money. And then when we get a hold of bad cars, I've got a whole freaking collection over here of bad cars, practically. So I take cats out of our bad cars, sell the cats, crush the bad cars, and scrap metal. So all of this metal is thrown down here in this ditch throughout the months and throughout the weeks or whatever. These are wrecked parts that we take off of cars, and my guys just pile them up, pile them up, pile them up. We have to get rid of them anyway. Being we're a business, you can't put them in the dumpster, really. I guess you could, but you don't put metal in a dumpster. So I come out here and load it up and take it to the scrapyard. So I'm gonna show y'all a couple tickets of what you can get off of stuff like this to go towards the race car. So this is all unprepared steel in here. We still have a whole nother trip that I have to do. I'm a little caught up this afternoon, so I'm trying to run a couple loads and also divide it into aluminum. So I got a pile of aluminum over there. Lower control arms are aluminum on some cars, hoods are aluminum on some cars, busted radiators, AC condensers, bad AC compressors or motors, bad fans or motors. So you get more money for all that if you individually break it down. But let's run this stack of unprepared steel over to the metal yard, and I'll show you what I get on this. And this is Old Faithful. This is a Colorado work truck. I bought this thing from the auction wrecked for I want to say $1,200. I think it was $800, $1,200, somewhere right there, right around 1,000. She's got all kinds of lights on her, service brakes, tire pressure sensors, ABS, everything. But she's Old Faithful. We've been burning her up for a long time now. So manual windows, no radios in it, so the employees actually have that boom box down there in the ground that they plug in. I'm a little old, I don't care about the radio, but they do. So yeah, this is the work truck. I used to scrap metal in my personal trucks, and they get scratched up, dented up, dinged up, and covered in mud from being out here in this nasty place. And so I finally bought a work truck. I also used to let my employees drive my nice diesels to pick and pull to the junkyards to go buy parts, but I no longer do that either. So now they are strictly to the work truck. If they have to go do anything for me, I pay for the fuel and provide them a vehicle. They don't drive their own vehicles, and this is what you drive, and this is what we scrap metal with. Now when I have to haul the cars to the scrapyard, I do take my personal vehicle, because obviously you're not pulling a car with a Colorado safely. But yeah, this is what we haul scrap with, and this is the employee vehicle, is the good old Colorado. I can tell from just the way she's driving today and bouncing over the bumps and stuff that we have some weight back there. We've got a rear end that we pulled out of I think it was the Nissan Frontier. If you go back to that video, we replaced the rear end. I still haven't scrapped it, so it's back there. And then there's a bunch of brake rotors I went ahead and threw in there, and spindles and brake calipers, all that kind of small heavy stuff. I chunked around all the hoods and the doors. I always try to take hoods and doors in one trip, because I stand them all up in the bed in a row, but then I try to fill it in with other stuff. So there's a lot of heavy steel back there, and you can definitely feel it bouncing around. So let's see what this ticket's gonna say on how much weight we had compared to what they're paying right now on steel. This little guy has actually been wrecked twice. So I bought it wrecked, we put it back together, and then one of my employees was driving it one day to go get lunch. He rear-ended somebody, wrecked it again, and I had him put it back together off the clock instead of hitting him with insurance on his insurance or anything like that. So this thing's been wrecked twice that I know of, and we've put this thing back together twice. So she's been through a lot with us. So what we're gonna do at this yard, every scrap yard is different, but we'll actually pull up here and we'll wait for the buzzard. They'll weigh us, they'll blow a buzzard, and then we pull forward and go around to where the cranes are, where they actually unload the metal. So we'll park, wait for the buzzard. There's the buzzard, and now you'll pull forward. And what a mess out here today, boy. We are gonna be bogging, man. If I would have brought the 450 out here on the 22.5s, we would have been freaking covered in mud by the time we left here. So they've actually closed the road in one spot and are having me back up to the magnet, which is not normal. I guess the road is too bad or something. So we're gonna get turned around up here and backed up to this magnet, and he'll pick it up with a giant magnet and unload it. We got unloaded. That magnet, if you're not familiar with it, they turn up and down the sensitivity on it of how strong it is. You know, they get into the bed of your truck or your trailer carefully, and then they turn it up or lower it down, whatever is needed to get it out. So pretty cool stuff. It's how electromagnets work, I guess, the science behind it, but that's how they do it here. They also have a grabber that will come down and like grab it and pull it out if they need to do that situation. All right, so here's what we got on that load. $89.60. The price they're paying 8 pennies a pound right now. So that walks away with a whopping $89.60. So, and keep in mind, I don't scrap metal. I don't go out looking for it and hauling it out of the woods and pulling it out of places to go get a couple pennies. This is stuff that I have to get rid of, because this is what we do for a living. So I dispose of it and I keep the change and funnel into the race car. So I'm gonna try to show y'all a couple things in this video if I can, depending on how many days I want to save this filming on, because I don't all do this in one day. But it just accumulates, you know, over months or a year, however many times you dispose of metal or get rid of bad cars, how many bad cars you have, how much catalytic converters are worth, and all that, it adds up. I mean, I've literally funded my whole entire car off of just this stuff right here, scrapping metal and side jobs. Also, when we paint boat motor covers, since I do that, I keep all that money for the race car. I don't put any of that money into the business. That's side hustle money, basically. So loading up this second load of just stuff that sucks. It takes up room, doesn't have a ton of weight. It just sucks to haul it off. Finally got to the bottom of the ditch. But here's another thing. This is our old microwave. Now, when I first posted this on Facebook to try to help other people out, a couple people actually laughed. So our microwave went bad at the house. And instead of trying to repair it, I was like, screw it, we're just gonna go buy a new one. So we went and bought a new one and I actually parted this one out. So I took everything out of this one that was decent, put it on our eBay store, because I have an eBay store where I I sell small items off of bad cars also. Anywhere from emblems to computers, ECMs, all kinds of stuff that is worth money. You'd be surprised at what you can make on an eBay store or Facebook Marketplace. So I put a lot of the parts off the microwave, the door, the turntable, the wiring harness, like all that, and you got part numbers on everything. So right now, well, I'm probably knocking on $300 that I have made. The door alone sold for over $100 on Christmas Eve, actually. I bet somebody busted their door and got on eBay, typed it in used, and found it. But yeah, so there's a couple more bucks. This is what's left of it, and I'm gonna get rid of it, throw it in the scrap pile. So everything else is listed on the eBay store and has been selling. So there's another $200 to $300 off of a microwave that most people would have just chunked in the trash, and it only takes you maybe an hour to break it down at your kitchen table, take it apart, inventory everything, take pictures, put it on the eBay store, throw it in a box, throw it in storage, and then as it sells, you ship the parts out. Easy money, y'all. All right, so this is our second load. They're unloading our second one. We'll see what we get off of this one. So yesterday was over 1,000 pounds, and I think it was $78 or $87. I have to look back. I don't remember off the top of my head, but today is 580 pounds at $52.20. So that shows you right there, 2 loads, that's over $100. So that pays for, what does that pay for? 2 of the fuel lines on the motor. I mean, if you want to put it in perspective so far. So let's keep going. Let's keep cleaning up some of this junk that I have, and let's see how much money we can get. We also, a customer picked up some boat motor covers that we had painted this morning. That was $450 because that was side cash for the car. So we'll see what we make by the end of the week. We might scrape in $1,000 for the race car. We'll see.